Hello everybody, I'm back. It's been a little bit, hasn't it? I hope the lawnmower in the background isn't too loud. It is a street away, but I think it's the cutting edges, the council's cutting edges or something, so I do apologise for that, but this is the time I've got to record. Now, I'm making the cover for my journal. And what I'm using is part of a cereal box. And my son eats cereal every now and then. And so I get cereal boxes. I don't know what I'm going to do once he's left home, because that's where I get my cereal bags and that's where I get my boxes from. And neither me or my husband have that sort of thing. So because I'm going to be using fabric over the top, and this was just a cushion cover I found at the op shop. It's beautiful, isn't it? Lovely, lovely fabric. Sometimes when you do that, you can see the box through the fabric. So what I sometimes do is just get a piece of paper and... see, that's my tea stain paper. I don't even have to use tea stain paper. I can just use a piece of blank paper, which might be a better option because this is valuable, you know. I'll just go and get a piece of blank paper that I can use. Just photocopy paper will be fine. Okay, I'm back. Just that, oh, that might not be thick enough. Should be, surely. Can you see? You can't see through that, can you? You can see there, but can't see through the fabric as well. Okay, that's fine. And I don't have anything like Mod Podge or anything like that, but I do have, just let me get rid of those. I have this. It's a matte super heavy gel. That should work just fine, I'm thinking. I might use that. I forget to use this sometimes, and it's really good for spreading things around. That's nasty, isn't it? Let's just take that off. I don't like leaving things like that on there, so I'm surprised it was on there. Okay, so I'm just going to spread this around. It's a bit sticky because it was on the lid. Let's get something that's better. And I try, and if I'm using cardboard, like packaging, I try not to use the really shiny ones because there's not a lot of grip on those sometimes. And I've noticed in the past that even those, the glue can come unstuck if they're far too shiny. This one's like a semi, this cereal box. It's not too shiny at all. I like this silicone brush. Okay. That should work. And it's matte on the other side, so that's fine. I don't know what I'm putting on the other side yet. Let's cut that off. Oh, that can't be very straight, can it? Look at that. Can't be very straight at all. Just a minute, let's straighten that up. better, I think. I hope everybody's been keeping well. It's Monday here. The weather has turned lovely and crisp, just the way I like it. And do things again. It's the school holidays now, school break, which is always nice. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Oh, I've got a scrap of paper here, or a few scraps. Look at that, see? Oh, what's that one there? That one might be better. Another scrap. Just a little bit worried that that might show through, and I really don't want it to, so I might just put another layer there. Now this is not completely necessary at all. I just don't want the print of the box showing through my fabric, that's all. And if you used a thicker paper to start with, you wouldn't have to put another layer on at all. Let's have a look at that. There we go. That's that. And that's my fabric, which I might need to press. I will be stitching it on. I wonder if that will hold this as well. It should do, shouldn't it? I wonder if I need to press. I'll give it a quick press. Let's just put that over there. What's that? Oh, that's that. Oh, I've still got all my bits on here. Sun's gone away for a couple of days, so I'm hoping to get a lot done in these couple of days. It would be really nice. I feel like I'm behind in everything. I'd like to get this journal finished. I'd like to work on my vintage sewing techniques and also my journal, Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, the Garden Paths. Excuse my hand. I put my hand in a basket the other day and was getting something from the bottom of the basket, and as I brought my hand out, I cut myself. Oh. There we go. That's a bit better. Okay. I don't know if that's completely the right size. Let's have a look. I just want to curl it around. I've got my journal here. I was waiting for this glitter to dry. Oh, it's not too bad. Oh, right. Yay. Okay, so it's probably easier to trim it down now before I start doing anything. So they can come down just a little bit, and that can come down a good, about that much. Yeah. Okay, let me just trim that first then. Hopefully that will be the right size for my journal. Yes, that looks, I could have taken a bit more off the height of it. Just let's have a look. Bring that down just a little. Yes, I can. I can take about 1/4 of an inch off there as well. I'll do that and then I'll be back. Okay, so I took another slither off each side and that off the length of it. So now the cover is measuring 9 1/4 inches by, what's that? About 6 7/8, just under 7 inches. So that's good, isn't it? So our fabric is, it's the double layer, isn't it, there? Which is our front. That's our front there, okay. So we've got plenty of room on this fabric here, so we need to trim it down just a bit. I want the fabric to be a bit bigger than the, it's one of those. One of those. I want the fabric to be bigger than the cover itself. Can I rip it? No. No, I cannot. I kind of want to get it straight though. Sometimes I get these a bit wrong. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's fine. It's crooked, but that's fine. Just trim a little bit more off there. Perhaps once I've glued it on though, I don't want to cut it too short, which I've done before in the past. Okay, about like that. Yes. Okay, so I will use this once again, but I won't put it on too thick because I don't want it marking the fabric at all. And I will be stitching around the edge of this, so I don't need to get it right to the edge if I don't want to. Yeah, let's have a look at that. That's the front. Like that. Okay. I do like that fabric, it's so pretty. Okay. I can do the fraying of the edges a bit better once I've stitched it. But I have to work out what I want to put on the inside here. And also, I want to, that's like that. I want to decorate the front cover. Now I do have, I printed out a couple of pieces. I have that one there, which I thought would be nice. And I have this one that I thought I could put under there, like that perhaps, and then a couple of buttons. That way you still get the floral effect, but it's broken up a little bit. But this is white linen that I printed it on. And do you see how it's very white? And I don't want it that white. Let me just wipe this off so it doesn't dry on there. There we go. Cap that for the time being. Right, so what I thought I would do, and I did experiment, no, not on there. Oh, where's it gone? I did experiment a little bit to make sure. I might have thrown it out. Oh, gosh. Oh, I think I did. Okay, well that's all right, I think. I did experiment to see how it would look if I edged it. And it looked fine. I will be stitching these, but see how white the edges are. It still has the backing on, because I thought it would be easier to work with if I left that on until the end. What I used was this little brush. Can't see where it is. So I know this corner is going to be covered by that, like that. So let's just have a little look. This brush did it the most gentle. Just gave it a little green edge around there. I kind of tried a couple of different brushes, and some of them were they were too dark. They just were too harsh on it. See how that kind of gives it a more blended look? I thought that might work, just to soften the edges a little bit. Yeah. Works a bit better on the, like that. I added a few more tags to the inside of the journal and a few other little bits and pieces, so when I do the flip through of the final journal, you'll be able to see those. Okay, just like that. And I'll go ahead and do the other one if I can find it. Oh, there it is. This one's from the Witchcraft Do You Do? So, and that one is just it's just one like a freebie sort of thing, I think. I can't remember where that was from. I think it was a, oh, I'll see if I can find it and put it on the screen. Okay, I'm going to go and do that. Okay, that is done. Okay, now I want that there, that there, like basically like that. And I've got it closer to the edge over here because I know that that will round off more once it's around the journal. Like the spine will be wider than that. So more or less like that, I'm thinking. Let's have a look. We shall try it. See, that will go like that. So that one can be about there, like that, and that one about like that, I think. About like that. Yeah. Okay. There. 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 Okay. Now what I want to do, I want to hold it there so I can stitch it. I've got a fabric glue pen. Oh, there's not much left in there. Hopefully enough. A fabric glue pen. I'm going to take the paper off here. And this is, it's like the American freezer paper, but it's not freezer paper. This is just the packaging from the toilet paper I get, but it has a strange surface on it that works exactly like the American freezer paper, I'm presuming, because that's how that works. So, okay, I want that to be a little bit higher, about there. See, I can see through that now, but I don't want to leave the paper on the back. So I'm going to have to double layer the fabric. Oh my goodness, one thing just leads to the other all the time, doesn't it? Okay, I've got some fabric here. I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller than the actual piece. Okay, it's okay if I've got the frayed edges, I like that. And if they poke out, I guess that's better still. So that is going to go behind there like that. And then that will go on there like that. That. That looks about right. So I just want to hold it in place, that's all. Sometimes be careful with this because the blue can show through, and I certainly don't want that. Going to all this trouble that the other things don't show through. I don't want this glue showing through. I don't know why it does that. It should kind of disappear more. There we go. I think that will be all right. Make sure it's fairly straight. So the idea is I'll sew that one on first and then position the other one, and then I'll be back. Okay, a word of warning. Because it's on fabric, it does tend to warp a little bit when you stitch it. See this here? I will combat that simply by putting some buttons there, I think, which is what I was going to do. Let's see, we've got some nice rustic looking buttons. That one's a nice old looking button. That might be too big. That will help to disguise it a little bit. They might be a bit big, I think. I might need to go a bit smaller. Looking at the overall picture here. Just what I need to do is go like that. Okay, that. They all seem to have 2 holes though. I usually like to mix it up. I need to have them bits. Yeah, let's have a look what else I've got here. That's another 2 hole. That's 2 hole. This one here is a 4 hole. So we could replace the first one with that. Have that there. That one there, and now go for something a little bit smaller. There's one there. I could go that across there, and that disguises that corner. This one here is flared out a little bit as well, but oh, if you go like that, it's fine. It looks like the paper's just fluttered there anyway. So I will put those buttons on, I think. Before I do that, I did want to just kind of, and I'm hoping this doesn't distort it even more. I just want to fray off the edges a little bit like that and rough them up just to soften it. So I will do that around all of them. I will probably stitch these and then glue them on, and then I'll be back. So that's done. I did forget to mention this paper that I use, I can reuse it. It sticks over and over again. Okay, so I've glued my buttons on. I did put a bit of tulle runched up behind it just to add a bit to it. So that will be the cover of the journal. I might just trim that. I roughed around the edges, basically just going like that and pulling, you know, strands of it like that, and quite happy with that. Now I have to find something for the inside. I may just put I actually don't think the spine will need strengthening really, because it has fabric here, it has this board, and it's going to have another probably fabric on that side as well. I mean, that won't do much. You know, I could put another piece of fabric there, but fabric has movement in it, so this tears very easily, so it's not good. I don't know if I've got any Tevec left, but depending on it, like if it's a nice close weave fabric that I find for the inside, then it should be alright. I should have a look and see what I've got for the inside actually. Alright, I'm back. I found something. I found this little bit of curtaining fabric. It's almost got that a little bit of rubbery feel to the back of it. It does have a slight mark on it, but it's I think it's going to look really quite nice in the journal. Plus, there's probably going to be a tag there anyway with, you know, a pocket with a tag or something in there anyway. I like that one. I think that will go with the journal very nicely. So once again, what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of this on there to hold it into place a little bit, because I'm going to sew all around the edge of it. That there, and then that there. It's got such pretty colours in it. Just enough tack to hold it into place, I think. Like that. I think that will be lovely. That way. Right, now let's just okay. Like that. Yeah. Hope that's going to look straight. I really do. I do. We'll soon find out, won't we? I am going to put a zigzag stitch around the whole edge of this, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that's how it's looking now. That's the back, that's the front, that's the inside. I think that fabric was a good choice. That's the back. I need something for a pocket, I think here. I've printed out a couple of nice little envelopes. And this is from, I've got it written down here somewhere. I wrote it. Oh, here we go. This is from the Paper Cameo, and it is a newer collection. I did get it a couple of weeks ago now. Something Blue, it's called. And I've lined the inside with like a tissue paper. And that one opens also. And it's really pretty. It's like doilies, isn't it lovely? And I thought, that's so pretty, it will go. There's a lot more to the kit than this, but because of the flowers, I thought it would look lovely in here. So, you know, they might go in a front pocket or something like that anyway. So I thought, see how I've got the darker pink here and here. I think it needs something here. And I need a closure. And I just thought about maybe bringing this colour into the centre here. Okay, so I decided on something totally different because That's what happens, isn't it? I found this little bit of fabric. I think it's French General fabric. And I just thought the red in it was just the right red, but not overwhelmingly red. And I just made a sash out of that. I did put my name on the back. I sometimes forget to do that, so while I remembered I did that. It's not all constructed as yet. The inside is still to be put in, but all I did was stitch it in on the spine there. I've tacked on this little bit of red organza because it just, when it was like that, it looked a little bit plain, but that just brought that little bit of red from the flowers to the center there. It's quite easily removed if whoever gets this doesn't like that, but I think it just adds that color as it goes down. On the inside of the cover, the same fabric here, I have stitched a pocket on, and I've put this lovely floral trim across the top. The one thing I love about floral journals is you can mix everything up and it just tends to go. It's quite eclectic, but it goes in its own strange little way. So what I'm going to do now is remove all the tags and things from the pages so that I can stitch it to the cover. So I'll go and do that, and I'll show you how I stitch it to the cover. Okay, so I have my book cradle out, and this, you can get these from Witchcraft Do You Do. I'll try and remember to put a link to that in the description box below. I've taken all my tags and things out of my journal pages, and I've folded them and I've clipped them with big paper clips there. I'm just going to put that in there. I do have a piece of card, it's just an index card, and I've put a hole in the center there, and then I've just measured out how far I want my other holes to be. This is the size of the journal cover, so it's a bit larger than the pages. And so what I do is I just place it there and make sure that the end of this and the other side are fairly even. And then all I do is put my holes in my pages like that. That's done. And then I can remove that, and the clips will hold that in place so nothing will move around. I will get my book cover now, making sure that I get my ties out of the way. I had to stitch them on beforehand just so that I knew they were going to be firmly placed on. Now, this is the size of the book cover, but the fabric comes down a little bit more. So I'm just allowing for that, like that. Okay, and so I'm just going to do the exact same thing. This is a little bit tougher to get through. Oh, especially that one. Got it. And then this one here. Yep, got that through. And you can see those holes there, there, and there. Move that out of the way. I do try and keep these in case I make a book of a similar size again. I have a whole pile over there because I never really make the same size books very often. So it's handy, but whether they actually fit in the long run. But if you're one of the sorts of people that make the same size all the time, they're a great idea. Okay, now I need some thread. And the thread I've been using is I found it at the op shop actually, so I don't know what kind of thread it is, but it's a nice thick thread. And I usually do, I can be quite generous. 1, 2, about 3 times the amount. I get a large needle and I thread it. Now, you can wax this if you want to. I just, you know, it's been so humid lately, although it's cooled down now. I find waxing in my climate, it can go a bit sticky, so I don't tend to wax. If I can buy the pre-waxed thread, it's fabulous. It works wonderful, and I don't know why, but if I was to, because I sometimes do, if I was to wax my thread, it tends to have a stickiness to it that I don't particularly like. So now I decide whether I want my threads on the inside of the journal or the outside. I'm going to have mine on the inside, so I'm just poking my needle through there, through the center, getting my cover, making sure everything's the right way up, and finding the hole, which is the whoops, making sure my tie is completely out of the way. Got that? Yep, there we go, right in the center there. What I'm going to do is just loop that around there to hold it so it doesn't slip back through the other way. Then I'll take it up to the top. You can go either way. I'll take it back up to the top here. Might as well just hold it through. And through that one. There we go. And turn it around and take it back through. Now these don't always go through as easy as this. Sometimes they are easy, sometimes they're not easy. Sometimes you have to poke around a little bit to get them into the holes. There we go. Moving our tie out of the way. I could have come up under the tie, you know. I never even thought of that. Oh, I wonder if I should do that. Come up under the tie. Oh no, because it's stitched all down, that's right. Okay. Now back through there. Oh, I can't see. Can't see my needle. Oh, there it is, okay. And then through the middle. And do that one. A nice tug. And this is where having strong, really strong thread. Now let me just show you this thread, and that's why I'm not overly concerned about, if I can find the end of it, waxing it, is because it is incredibly strong. You know, even on it, I just can't break it. It's wonderful. Some threads you have to be very careful because they will snap. And that's never good, because then you have to redo it all. There we go. A couple of little knots. And I'll probably just trim that there. Now I can take off my bigger paper clips. And that's the outside there. And that's the inside. I could tie a little bow there if I wanted to, or I could put something on the ends. I generally like to leave that to whoever gets the journal. It's nice if not everything's done, you know, if so people can add their own personality to a journal as well. I'll leave that like that, and then I will start putting everything back in, and then I'll do a flip through of it for you so you can see what it's like.